Okay, let me show you some of the safeties in this furnace before we leave. Right here on the side, which actually makes contact in here, is my vent safety. Then out of the vent safety comes to my, what I would call the heat exchanger thermostat. This has two settings on it, setting at 200 and a setting at 160. That means that when the heat exchanger reaches 200, the fan motor kicks on, and when the thermostat has met temperature, the fan continues to run, and when it comes down to 160, it shuts off. From here, we run down to our flame rollout switch. This is a one-time fuse rollout switch. If the flame does roll out from the heat exchanger, it's looking for oxygen. In order to create combustion and to keep combustion, you need three things. You need a fuel source. We have that. We have an ignition source. We have our pilot lit with the thermocouple keeping it lit, and then you need oxygen. So if you ever have to replace this switch, you know that you have a problem with either your combustion air not getting into this area here and into the burner chamber through the grills, or there's something blocked in the vent which is keeping it from creating combustion. The last thing that we have is we have an over temperature switch in the heat exchanger, which is these black wires that go to the ECO, which is the energy cutout. On this gas valve and on this furnace, they have an energy cutout. So if you ever do come across those, you must connect them up or jump them in order to get the furnace to turn on. This is a universal gas furnace that we're using, that we're putting in, and it replaces all of these different gas valves. It's a universal standing pilot gas valve that can also be used for millivolt. So now I'm going to go ahead and relight the pilot, plug it in, and let it kick back on. While we're here, I wanted to tell you that this screw right here, when you unscrew it, that's where you adjust the gas pressure, okay, in order to do your manifold test port right here. But that's where, when you're doing your combustion test, if you need to increase your CO2, you need to turn down on the spring in that area. This screw right here is your pilot adjustment. If your pilot isn't high enough and isn't strong enough onto the thermocouple, you would unscrew this, and then you would take in and you put your screwdriver and you turn counterclockwise for the pilot. Clockwise for more pressure because we have a spring on the regulator of the gas valve, and counterclockwise for more pilot fuel going through the pilot. Okay, the last step that I do when I'm doing a furnace overhaul or a furnace inspection is I come to the thermostat. This is a digital thermostat that has batteries. So I want to make sure that the batteries are good and they have a strong life left. If they don't, I want to replace them, okay? So I come over here and I take my voltage meter, put it on millivolts. That's going to be the DC volts with the straight line with the 3 dashes underneath it, and it'll have a small M and a large V. So I'll take my batteries and I'll put my common on the flat side and my positive on the other side, and it shows me I have 1 point. It's jumping all over the place. Let's see here. I have 1.471 millivolts. So I'm almost at full life on that battery. And now on this battery, let's check what's in here. I have 1.471. So almost have full life on both batteries. You can see on the side it shows 1.5 volts. So they don't need new batteries. Should last them at least 8 months or so. Thank you for coming to Heating Tech Talk with Chad. We appreciate you guys' viewing. Like I tell my golf buddies, fairways and greens, pals. Everything else will take care of itself. Have a great day.